four greens. And I'm like, okay, I don't know where we're gonna look next, but he and my hubby figured it out and then got the full green new modem. I'm happy.
Nice, nice. See all decked out in new gear and stuff.
Yep, takes up less space.
Nice. Very nice. All right, looks like we're live there. Let's record here. Hey, Catherine. Good to see you made it. We want to hear from you today. We got to put some things out on the record, especially with Catherine today. Good morning, everyone, and hello. And guess what day it is? Well, try not to throw too much energy at you. It's Monday. It's my
Four
absolute
greens. And I'm like, okay, I
most.
don't know where we're gonna look next, but he and my hubby figured
What?
four greens. And I'm like, okay, I don't know where we're gonna look next, but
Oh, hold on, I'm having
he and my hubby
a technical issue here. Hold on one second.
I can't hardly hear her. That was you, Rita?
green. It was,
Yeah.
but it was
Oh,
recorded by accident, so
that's all right. Okay, mic check, mic check. Am I coming through okay?
you're good.
And then now my video.
Yep, you're good.
That was funny. Woo! Hey, well, all right. See, all that energy, I just made it go all wacky, right? Anyway, it's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday. TGIM. It's my favorite day of the week. I want to thank you all for joining us. This is our Monday Mastermind. We do this every Monday at 12 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to join us, you're watching us over there in YouTube land, feel free to join us. All you got to do is go to a browser, type in the lost transition.com/live. Anytime that we have these Monday meetings, you're more than welcome to join us live. What we do is we reach out into the audience. We start the meeting off with finding out all the good things that have happened to everybody that comes here every Monday, finding out what their wins are. We have a little bit of a training kind of episode, throw some things out there for people to think about, drop some golden nuggets. We open it up for mastermind, some questions. This is week 9, calling this building and leading a successful team. So part of this, as this series goes, if you will, is part of the Lost Transition, which is a group that I created well over 3 years ago. And we've been doing this literally every Monday for 3 years. Have not missed a beat, have not skipped a day, a week, or anything like that. So we're pretty proud of that, I think. So those of you that have been along for the ride for the longest, I don't even know. Rita, maybe you are. But thank you all for joining us. That being said, let's get this party started. I know you guys got some wins. I know I want to hear from Catherine. We got to get something on record from Catherine that we talked about on Saturday. I want to see and hear all great things. So who wants to go first? Who wants to share? Share the wins. It's share the wins time.
I shared mine first already, getting my internet back.
Excuse me. That is a win.
Yeah.
Man, it kind of stinks when you don't have internet and then you realize like how reliant you've become upon it, right?
Yep, yep. And you learn a few things like understanding that the internet has nothing to do with your cable. I thought they were all the
Or
same.
your phone. Jackie, go ahead, dear.
Well, it's a win for me.
Yes.
It's a win for me. I actually um I scheduled all my posts for this week
Oh, nice.
on LinkedIn and Facebook. That's the first time I've ever done that, and
Yeah,
uh, and so it was a win for me.
nice.
Thank
A little
you.
bit
Yeah,
of automation goes a long way.
yeah.
Right now, all you got to do is just pay attention to your social media. When they like and comment, go back and like and comment with them, right?
Yeah, I was it's actually a follow on from the boot camp. I'm just implementing what I learned.
Oh, that's even better news to my ears. I love hearing stuff like that. Good. So you
Thank
learned
you.
something and you're applying it.
Yes.
What you want to do now is take note of what the actions were, right? Or the data. And then that's the kind of information that you can go and share as part of your story. You understand that when we talk about that and put those connections together?
No, but I'll get it.
Okay, so one of the things that we teach in our coaching group, right, is that the easiest way for you to go and become a leader, so to speak, or to be put into that type of position is to learn something new, implement that into your business, and then you're going to gather whatever information or data that you got from that, right? Like, so as an example, before it was taking you X amount of time to post into Instagram every single day. Instead, I went and I automated it, did it for the whole week. My results were this. If you want me to show you how I did it, say me below. Know what I'm saying? Nope. Okay, we'll try this one more time. We're gonna connect these dots. So you learned something, right? And you're putting it into action now. Your goal is to pay attention to what happens from the action that you put out there, especially if it's a change from something that you did before. Now you're doing something different, right? And you see that that's something positive. Well, that positive, that's part of your story that you can share with other people. By sharing your story that way, in such a way, you can also attract people to you, right? By simply piquing their curiosity. Because if you go out there as an example, Jackie, and you did this thing on Instagram, you took care of your whole week. Now you don't even have to worry about that, which gave you back more time. And then now you track throughout the week, maybe, okay, well, Monday, it was this amount of likes. And we had these many conversations Tuesday, this amount of likes. At the end of that week, you've got data there that you could share, right? And then you can share that story in such a way to say, man, I was doing it all wrong. I was trying to post every day. I finally learned something new because of this group that I'm in, or whatever, however you want to say it. And I implemented something that I learned. It gave me back this amount of time. These were the results. If you'd like to know how I did it, say me down below, right? And then you can actually go and take somebody and help them or show them. That might be something that you can utilize to get them even into your business, perhaps, right? Make sense now?
Yes, thank you. The penny dropped. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. You
Thank
call
you.
it a what? A penny drop?
The penny dropped.
Okay, okay. I love it. Yes. I haven't heard that
Thank-
terminology, but I love that.
Yeah, it means it all makes sense now. The penny dropped.
Perfect.
Thank
Perfect. Hey,
you.
awesome. You're very welcome. Who else has some wins they want to share? What's up, Keisha? Hi, Vicky. Okay, Catherine, I'm gonna have to call you out.
Why are you calling me out so early? I said I would have something this week.
Uh,
It's just Monday.
because, well, the reason why is because we don't have it out publicly what you told us Saturday. And
Oh,
I'm happy just hearing what
oh,
you
okay.
told us Saturday. So even if you'd never made another phone call, which of course you're going to,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Tell
yes,
us
I
tell
am.
us your win.
Oh, okay then. Well, the wins is that based on the script that I've Robert and I worked on, most of Robert worked on it. I just gave him some ideas on what kind of script I wanted. I have been making calls to truck drivers, and I'm having so much success that this week I know that I am going to get at least 10 to or more of a follow-up that I have to do. I have 10 follow-up based on the calls that I made, which came to about 20% of the calls. So I have 10 or more follow-up that I'm going to do, and I'm going to have success. I'm claiming it already.
I
So it's
love it. I
going to be a
love it. I love
success.
it.
So,
Woo!
so
Got
that's
my
it.
goosebumps up on end, girl. And same rule applies, Catherine, okay? Share your story, my friend. I'm not, remember, we said this before, I'm not looking for the glory, just tell your story. If you want to mention me, great, you know. Um, but tell that story. Like, wow, I actually got some mentoring. I'm getting some training now. I'm learning how to do these things. We made one simple change in my presentation, and now we have a 20% increase. Who does not want a 20% increase in their business? Anyone in here? Right? Again, that's something that once you learn how to do that and you've got to figure it out, that's a skill set that you can teach other people. And then you pass it down the line. That's also part of helping with creating that sense of duplication for other people that join you, right? Which is going to be perfect segueing into what we're talking about today, which is building and leading a successful team. But before we go into that, Keisha, what you got, girl?
One more thing.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
please.
And they all was cold call.
Cold calls, I love it. Cold calling,
No warm market.
20%.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. You hear that, Rick? Thumbs up. Be careful. Drive safely over there. 20% on cold calls. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then as you start getting to know that script and it becomes more and more you, and then now depending on what they say, we'll be able to come up with some answers to objections and you'll be able to battle that a little bit and then you'll go from 20 to maybe 30 or 40 or 50 or even higher. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I look forward to it. Congratulations on all that. Keisha, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. Most of you on here don't know. I have two daughters, right?
Okay.
My youngest one is like my mini me. She's always around. She's always with me. She's my greatest enabler. If you ever want a cheerleading squad, that's that one. But my other kid and I are very estranged. We don't speak to each other at all. I haven't seen my four grandkids that are with her, that are for her. I haven't seen any of them in the past 2.5 years. But yesterday, for my youngest daughter's 30th birthday, the eldest, which the 15-year-old granddaughter, though, my oldest, came over. So I got to hang out and play with her. And
I love
since
it.
she's no longer with her mom, she's with her dad in Orlando. She has gotten to be so strong, so confident. She sat like completely no slouching. She was speaking with confidence. She was playing with her cousins. It was amazing to watch.
That's got
Like
to be a great feeling.
it was, listen, that I was so terrified for that one when we took her from her mom because it was bad. But she's doing so well. I am
Oh,
so
I bet that was an amazing feeling. I can only imagine. Like,
yeah.
I don't talk much about it, but I've got a daughter, an estranged daughter, my third, my baby, but she unfortunately doesn't want to have anything to do with her father. But I've dealt
Mhm.
with that before, with two older boys. Unfortunately, they weren't in my lives either, but now they are. So we had to get to that point one day that, she'll hopefully get old enough
Well,
to learn
I
that
I
her
got
dad
lucky
does.
because I was able to build a relationship with each of my grandkids except for her last one.
Yeah,
So, and that bond is enough that even if she never speaks to me again, by the time they get
sure.
18, they'll be, we'll
Right.
be back.
You got your feel, huh? Right, you got
I
your
made sure to have imprinted on each one of them before they were 4 months, and that 4 months to 1 year time frame.
yeah.
Yeah, I made sure I was in each one of their lives. But the youngest one, that's when she and I started getting really bad. So she literally, if he was crying, I couldn't go near him. Da 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 da. Da. Like she kept him away from me.
I love it, girl. Well, I'm glad you got to experience that. Thank you for sharing that with us too. That's
Thank you.
super awesome. Congrats. Vicky, Vicky, Vicky.
Vic,
What you got? Vic,
Vicky.
Vic.
Okay. I did get a win. I just thought about it. Um, in the travel business has changed so much and it's gone multi-level marketing. I'm still old school. So I'm with a company that's been around for over 20 years. And I have a family, well, we consider each other family. And they called, and it's always an issue when they want to book something. I mean, it's never simple. And so one of them called and they said, there's a group that's going on and they gave me this price, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, I'll get back to you soon. I hung up and I'm not going to say the words that I said, but it was like, oh, Lord. Anyway, so I did it real quick and I came out a little bit higher, but I also got decks that I knew that she would want. So I called back, I texted back, gave her all the information. I said, just let me know what you want. And she went with me, even though it was a little bit higher. And so I had to look at the phone to make sure I read it right. But I did. And I said, okay, hurry up, give me your credit card and let's get the deposit on.
Love it. Congratulations. So she got a sale. Yes.
So
That's the front
it won't
end.
come until the end of October. But the point is, it shows that
Yes.
service is key, because
100%, my
when you're
friend.
doing it with people and they don't even understand what your needs are, and you haven't really given them the service that we gave back in the way back in the
Yeah,
day.
absolutely.
It,
And to point
it
out,
counts. It counts.
absolutely, to point out something that you said too is that you went and found the cabins that you knew she would love versus what she had. So even that little upgrade right there, of course, that makes the difference in all the value in the world. Of course, they're going to pay more. So great job. That's awesome. Congrats. That's a great win right there. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Good job. Anybody else got any wins? Vicky, you got any you want to share? If not, it's okay.
I don't really have any wins since Saturday to share. I mean, you already know the progress and everything that I've been making, and I'm really pleased with all of that. And so I'm just plugging away at everything, trying to develop the plan and figure out the avatar, the people that I'm most wanting to impact or get to know or build relationships with. So, and I've been working on engagement and my Facebook is going great. I'm at like 1.3K now. I started out 600. Okay. So, am I engaging every day? I'm doing my darndest. I have a lot of stuff on my plate, but and there is things that take priority in some ways over that. So
Of
I'm
course.
trying to divide my time the best I can for everything. But I really am excited about all the growth and improvement. And I thank this
Absolutely.
group very much for that. You and this group. I
Absolutely,
think
girl. Keep on shining, my friend. And real quickly mention you said something on Saturday. Not everybody's privy to our Saturday team coachings, right? Unless they're part of
okay.
it. But what were you like one away from like three of your goals
Oh,
on three different
yeah, I
businesses?
am one away from platinum on Great Life.
Ooh, all
One
right.
person.
All right.
And that is important to me. But see,
Sure.
I have a need for that because of my health
Right.
situation. So, I mean, these are something I really believe in, and so it's very easy for me to talk about it because I'm living, walking proof.
There you go.
Okay,
So
so,
your story.
but I'm doing good. I'm doing good with my meetings and trying to overcome the uh where what is it called? I'm blanking out on you. The owning the message on my team presentations and stuff and I actually shared a story with them, so I'm like growing, I'm like
I
starting to
love
have
it.
that confidence and putting my story into the mix, and so I really have learned a lot and I'm pushing forward just like usual.
I love it. Love it. Love
I
it.
love it when Rita says, oh, I'm being like Vicky.
We
I'm like,
felt
oh
your
boy.
pain when you went
I
through
hope that's a good thing.
it. Hey, perseverance is your friend, right?
Resilience is what I'm really good
That
at.
too. There you go.
Really good at it. So,
Love it.
eh, overcoming setbacks.
Love it. Love it, Vicky. Well, thank you
Hmm.
for sharing. You've come a long way and you're amazing. Keep on shining, my friend.
Thank you.
Anybody else got anything they want to share? Any other wins? Going once, going twice. Sold to the lady in the second row. She's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10, I know. All right, let's talk about this this thing that I've been waiting to dive into. I'm like, oh, I can't wait till Monday. Um, it's week 9. We've already lost 8 weeks. So part of what we do here, obviously, is we kind of want to forget about those things that maybe opportunities that we missed or whatever else, and then gear up for this next week coming, so that we can not miss any opportunities, but at the same time learn some things, have some things to think about that we can maybe trickle down to our teams, I guess. I say that, if you notice the tonal inflection there, turns out to be a question, right? But I want to talk about building and leading a successful team. And I'm always going to come to you guys from my personal point of view, right? Uh, you can take it for what it is. I can tell you that I have created and ran many, many, many successful teams. If you haven't heard about it before, I'm not going to bore you with it. And we've done exceptionally well. A lot of that really came from what I learned in direct marketing or door to door, which Rick is out there doing right now. Kudos to him. They say, or it's been said, that if you do 2 years of direct marketing, it's the equivalent of a college degree in marketing. So after doing 20 plus years of that, plus all the telemarketing and stuff that I did before even doing that, I've dealt with and learned a lot of things about building teams as well as how to have successful teams. So I want to share some of that stuff with you. We've got some definitions, we've got some talking points, and then some questions to ask you guys to open it up to the audience here so that we can get your insights on as well. So there's two things that I want to talk about as far as the definitions for today. Number one is team building, right? So when you look at team building as somebody that's built multiple teams, there's a few things that come to my mind right away. And some of these things you've probably heard me talk about before. The biggest word that comes to my mind is awareness. Okay. So when building a team, there's a sense of awareness that needs to happen. But when you look at the definition of that, it's just like the process of creating a team that works effectively together, right? When I think about it from my military perspective, I've mentioned this before. When I was in the military and I saw that 10 to 12-foot wall and they told me I had to get over it, I couldn't fathom how I was able to get over it by myself. And the only way that I could get over that wall was in a team environment, right? But maybe I wasn't the person that was in charge of that team, but I would still have to figure out, well, how would I build that team? And in essence, it comes down to just simply asking, right? Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not saying, hey, oh, could you come join my team? I'm not saying that, right? But it's understanding the people that you're looking to bring onto your personal business. We've said this many times before. I want to say like 85 to 97% of the people that are out there in network marketing down now don't qualify. And I'm not saying that to be mean, rude, or obnoxious. I'm simply saying that from experience. I'm saying that from all of the things that I've seen. Many of us don't have the experience in sales. Many of us have never built a team. Many of us have never led a team. Many of us have never even been in management one day, right? I get a lot of people that tell me, well, I haven't done sales all my life like you have, Robert. And then I always jokingly say, yes, you have. You've been selling since birth. The only difference is that you did something different while I was still selling and when I was still paying attention to the sales and the sales process. And through that, I learned more about people. And really, that's what we have to do as leaders or upcoming leaders is we have to learn more about people, especially when it comes to developing and building a team. We have to understand that there's certain, dynamics of a group and selecting the right mix of skills and personalities are really good to be able to do. Even true, and more so, I want to just add, if you can get like a culture of collaboration and mutual respect, that's even better. And what does that mean? Well, that means really like what we're doing here on these Monday Masterminds. If you go and you look at anyone that's here live now, number one, they're showing up. They have the same mindset. We all want to succeed, so we're all doing this together so that we can all grow together, right? Make sure that everybody gets to where they want to be. My military mindset is no man or woman left behind, no soldier left behind. So there are some things that we had to think about, right? Especially when it comes to team building. Now, with that being said, I want to remind everybody here that's watching and anybody out there in YouTube land too. I say this all the time, write this down if you need to. But just like there are just three different types of customers that are out there, there's three different types of dynamics when you have people that are on your team. And the way that I like to show that is that you're going to have your A reps, your B reps, and your C reps. We've talked about this before. Again, we're mentioning this because we're talking about team building and leading a successful team. And when you have the awareness to know this information here, it makes your job as a leader or upcoming leader a lot easier. Your point and mission is to identify those people that do come on board and onto your team. Are they an A, a B, or a C type rep, right? And then your mission as a leader is to work with those people and get your C reps to B reps, your B reps to A reps. Your A reps, those are the people that already have a very good idea of what's going on. They've got prior knowledge. Maybe they've done it before. They can go out there. You just got to tell them what they need or technically give them what they ask for, right? Which is most of the time answers to questions. And they will go out there and they will go run and gun, right? They'll go out there and get all crazy, have some fun with that. Your B reps are the ones that have a little bit of knowledge, need a little bit of help. But once they understand it and you can put those dots together, as we like to say around here, right? They will go and they will be, I like to say, the the tortoise in the rabbit and tortoise race, right? They will be the ones that might be slow to start off, but in the end, they're going to beat that rabbit, right? So then you've got your C reps that really don't know much about anything. Those are the ones that we had to kind of handhold a little bit, teach them a few things, make some time for them, but also have the awareness of where they're coming from, right? Because there's all kinds of different personalities and cultures that are out there, different types of people. We were all brought up different areas of, the country even or parts of the world. So there's things that we as leaders have to do and have that openness and awareness to say, hey, everybody's got to start somewhere. And we can't automatically assume that they know what we're talking about, right? Especially if we're talking network marketing lingo, right? They can't say, yeah, well, all you got to do is build a capture page, build your system. They're not going to understand any of that, right? So those are people that would be very good and best inclined for you to get them in front of live trainings, right? Meetings like this, so that they start learning these things, right? And effectively that information grows on them, and then they're able to start making more positive moves towards their future, what they want to do. For those of you that are here, just know if you don't know already, you're more than welcome to invite anybody to the Lost Transition, right? You're more than welcome to invite them to these Monday Masterminds. I like to say, look, I'm here to help where I can. Bring your people here. I will help train them for you and with you. I have no problem doing that. That's something that I love to do. But team building is going to take learning how to work with those people and understanding those people on those different levels and how you can effectively do things as a leader to help them get from that C to B and the B to the A. A lot of them getting from the C to A, quite honestly, is going to be the knowledge and the confidence with that knowledge that they have. The more confident that that person is with what they're looking at or what they're holding or what they're trying to sell, the better off they're going to be. But at the same time, they don't have to know everything about it. Okay. And in fact, less is more comes to mind. The moment that you give somebody too much information, there's a thing that happens. We like to say you have verbal diarrhea in the sales space, and you want to be careful not to talk too much, right? But all of those things come to mind when I'm talking about team building. The second thing that we want to talk about here is just leadership in general. Okay. So, what is leadership? Leadership is just simply the ability to guide. Maybe you're inspiring people and most of all, motivating a team to achieve a common goal. Now, the cool, fun thing about this is that it's not necessarily the common goal for you, but it's a common goal that people are working towards together that get them personally where they want to be, right? As an example, Catherine, right? With what she's doing and her closing, getting better and the people that she's bringing, or even Jackie, or even Vicky, right? Or Vic, even, right? Now, secondly, when it comes to leadership, I say this a lot of times too, is that this network marketing space is not about pitching and selling. It really truly is about personal development. What are you doing on the daily to make sure that you're expanding your mind in a positive way so that you're getting better at whatever those things that you're lacking at? Whether it's mindset, whether it's getting up on video, whether it's just your personal speech, right? All of those things matter. Right? Are you doing mirror work? If you're having issues with those things, that's what comes to mind. Do some mirror work. Don't be afraid to look in the mirror and say, "Oh, you're awesome. I love you." And say it with power. And you feel that? You feel that transference of emotion? There you go. Hug yourself just like Rita just did. Exactly. It might be funny and we laugh about it, but it's real. Like it's real raw energy. For you to become a leader, you need to be able to talk to yourself the way that you can talk to and motivate other people. Because I'm telling you now, if you can't even motivate yourself, how are you going to motivate somebody else? If you can't get out of bed in the morning, how are you going to motivate somebody else to get out of bed in the morning? Right? So, team building and leadership are two key things when we're talking about building and leading a successful team. Some talking points that I want to bring up is number one, the importance of vision in team leadership. Right? How how clear and compelling is the vision that they have that can motivate and guide somebody towards achieving whatever it is that they want to, right? These are things that I've learned from my mentor. So it's not like I'm not how do I want to say this? I'm not inventing this, right? When you hear me talk about the questions that we ask people, and we ask them, what is your vision? There's a reason we ask them what their vision is, right? Everybody clear on that? Raise your hand. Yes, we know this. Okay. The reason that we do that, just to be clear, so we're all on the same sheet of music, is we want them to get connected to their vision. The closer that they can get to connecting with their vision, and then if you're able to show them that, look, this is the vehicle over here. I don't know if you guys saw or not my post the other day when I said I was eating it. I responded with one hand. I was eating a sandwich in the other. Right? But if you can show that, hey, this is their vision and this is the vehicle for them to get their vision, and you can tie what it is that you're doing that will ultimately, right, especially if it's going to help them solve a problem, then it's easier for them to get connected to what it is that you're doing, especially if it's a win-win situation, right? So we had to talk about vision because if you never ask the question, you don't know the people that are joining you, you don't know what their vision is, how are you going to help them get to where they want to be? Rita, go ahead.
I'm just thinking about a visual with that as well. And what comes to mind is Catherine, how she knew what she wanted. She had a vision as to what she wanted to do, and she had the parts to it, but that perfecting the dialogue was something that she had not totally put together. And so now she's got that and she is moving towards that vision that she has. So,
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Great example. Great example. But going back to the question too, right? If we never ask that question, which write this down, I want you to start asking people what is their vision, right? It's very, very important. And again, it's not for you, but for them. What is it that they're trying to accomplish? Do they even have the right mindset? Like, are they like, I want $30,000 by the end of next week, right? We know that's not going to happen. That's not realistic. Can they make money in the network marketing space? Absolutely, 100%. It's there. It's just like a job. The only difference is we work when we want to, and we don't have to go fight traffic. I work from home. Like there's all kinds of positive benefits, tax write-offs if you're into that kind of thing, you know, all kinds of things, right? Second thing is effective communication strategies. Effective communication strategies. So when I talk about this or even mention it, something comes into my mind that I talk about quite a bit too, is the art of communication. Many of us, unfortunately, don't have that gift of gab that I've been told that I have. Or jokingly, I like to say, I talk purty, right? Most of us don't have that. So we have to be able to understand what that communication is. When we know what the language is, we can then communicate properly and or accordingly, right? I trust that makes sense. But to have effective communication strategies, one thing that pops into my mind too, beyond that, is those of us that have now sight or are using now sight, those rotations of remembrance. Or maybe going back through if you're a person like me and you've got different uh, businesses that you're building, go back through your downlines and look at the people that are in your downline that you haven't talked to in a long time. Reach back out to them. Reconnect. Hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Haven't heard from you in ages, right? Reconnect with them. Have those effective communication strategies. But as I always say, when you're reaching out, even if it's for those 5 conversations per hour, it's not about business. It doesn't have to be. Just reach out because you're a person that actually gives a crap about other people, right? There's other ways that you can communicate too. Obviously, you can send text, but I don't really recommend text other than, hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? And then type in, want to chat, get them on the phone. Text can be misconstrued, right? But there is now site, right? If you have the team section there, you got people in your team. There's that communication device. There's groups. If you're using groups in Facebook, here's something for you. If you've got a group on Facebook and you haven't done a live of yourself personally in a long time, maybe do that. Communicate with your team though, especially when you consider that Facebook doesn't always put your message out there, right? With that algorithm that we're battling. So we got to think about effective communication strategies. How can we go and effectively communicate with our downline, our friends, or the people that we want to be connected with? Then the biggest thing that comes to mind is the list, the CRM. Get them into your CRM, put them on some kind of list, right? Lists work. Next thing is diversity and inclusion. Number three, diversity and inclusion. Okay. I absolutely love having teams that were very diverse. What do I mean by that? I loved having people that were white, black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, all the different flavors, all the different cultures. I loved it. Love it still to this day. To me, like getting a little personal here, but from my background, right, I was from the Von Trapp family. I'm descended Austrian, got a little Mexican. I feel like I'm like the great American melting pot. Maybe you'd call me a mutt. But I love dealing with different cultures like that because the more that I'm around people that are different than I am, the more I can learn. The more diversity they have. Now, I'm not talking about the DEI stuff that you see out there, all crazy. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. Yes, everyone's going to be different. And I'd like to include everybody that can, as long as we're all on the same sheet of music and they're not talking crazy and I'm not talking crazy. Right. But the value of having people from different walks of life and having those different stories is really immense, especially when you're able to culminate everybody together in this team fashion that we're talking about. Because you might not know that other person that you have on your team that's coming from that cultural background that's able to add value to your team just by being a part of your team. Once you include them into it, right? Once you have them in that C situation or B situation or even an A situation. Because I'll tell you the funny thing about A, B, and C's when you go and you look at them, when people seeing other people starting to succeed as the A's, then your B's and C's want to know what they're doing. Like why is Rita having so much success? Why is Catherine having success? Why is Keisha? Why is Jackie, right? Why is Vicky? Why are these people having all this success? And then it's almost like having this bright light that everybody starts leaning towards. I'm telling you, it's really cool when you see it happen. But it's nice. It's good to have some type of diversity and inclusion, right? Number four is conflict resolution techniques. Conflict resolution techniques. When I talk about this, I love this right here because, as I've mentioned before, if you haven't heard it, I hope not to bore you. But one of my telemarketing jobs that I ended up becoming a manager and leading a team of people was way back when they had this company called MCI WorldCom. And part of my job back then was we were an inbound call center that were in what we called the saves department. And every single customer that called in was calling in because they were irate, they were pissed off, their bill was wrong, they got double billed. Really, what it came down to was a misunderstanding of whatever the terms of what they were going to pay. I can go deep into that conversation, but I won't. In fact, one of my exes that I dated, which probably shouldn't have, but we did, it was funny because she said that whenever I asked her, hey, how was your day? She would say, I got called a bitch 3 times today. It's a great day. Like that's how she would gauge her day, just to give you an idea. Right. So you had to have thick skin to even work in that department. And the people that I worked with, I had to teach them how to have thick skin as well. But conflict resolution is a very good thing for you to master as a leader. I know that I've mentioned this before, probably not recently enough, but just to give you like a little gold nugget. If you have a conflict, it's easy to resolute that conflict if you understand what tonal patterns are. This is, of course, dealing with sales psychology or psychology in general. If somebody's yelling at me at this particular point, right, they're this loud, what I want to do is I want to match that loudness, and then little by little, as I'm talking, I'm going to slowly decrease the volume and the tone of the voice that I'm talking about. And if I do this the right way, you'll realize that there was this level of awareness, right, that kind of slowly shifted down in terms of energy, right? So even something as learning something as simple as that could really help with conflict resolution. The other thing that comes to my mind with conflict resolution is something that I will dive into pertaining back to what we were just talking about. And it's a true story, but I found it funny because back in the day before I was married to the most amazing woman in the world, I used to have girlfriends or ex-wives or whatever, and there was always some kind of argument, right? Something that came up. And then there was this back and forth and way back then I was like, okay, I remember I'm the guy that used to take shit apart. So I would just get to this point. So like, okay, well, really, what happened is you're mad because I did this and you didn't tell me about it, so I didn't know that there was a problem, right? There was this chain of things that I was able to follow all the way back to this one little event, if you will. And really, what it came down to is, as I mentioned before, it was a misunderstanding, right? Somebody didn't understand the other person, or there was a lack of communication. Those are the two things: misunderstanding or communication. So if we can understand those two things, it's really easy to have conflict resolution. But also, what I was getting at was we had to understand that there's always those two sides to the story. Sure, there's funny guys that are out there and say, yeah, there's the third side, right? The real side or whatever, however they say that. But really, there is two sides to every story. So if we come from awareness and understanding and we look at both sides of the story, like for me, it's easy for me to relate when I listen to something, especially some kind of conflict, right, on why they're both upset. Quick example here. If anybody watched the whole Ukraine Trump thing that was like wildly televised, right? I could actually understand where Putin was coming from when he was talking about, well, Russia's attacking us, right? So of course they're evil enemy number one. Totally understand that. Also understand the other side. I'm not going to get all political about it. But the point that I'm making is I totally understood both sides. Obviously, there's going to be a winner and a loser and all of that. We'll see how that comes out. Make sure you grab lots of popcorn. But conflict resolution is and learning techniques for conflict resolution are really cool, and they will help your team have more cohesion, especially if you're doing it with two people that have some kind of conflict and you're able to point out that it's kind of childish and maybe we're above that, maybe we're adults, and as long as we can see eye to eye, we can move forward, we can work together, right? Those are just different strategies that I've learned just throwing them out there off the top of my head. I trust that that's some little gold nuggets for you guys. Number five is empowering team members. Okay, you really have to, if you haven't seen or paid attention yet, there's a reason why we start this whole show with starting off to see what your wins are, right? We want to empower you. That's really what it comes down to. If we can empower you enough and you can see and know, as mentioned before, all these people are having success. Well, there's got to be a reason for this. Hello. Follow the breadcrumbs. Follow the breadcrumbs. But you must empower your team members. If you sad but true, like that's what we're buying for. Really, it's attention. That's the biggest commodity right now is attention because of your time. People want that attention. And many times, unfortunately, depending on where that team member comes from, if you miss a rank advancement or you miss a birthday or something like that, God forbid. So you want to be careful about that. Again, go back to awareness and pay attention to those things. If you see that it's their birthday, that should be part of your DMO. Every morning, part of my DMO is I make sure I go look at birthdays. Anybody else? If you're not doing it, you should be, right? I go do all my loves, all my comments, all that fun stuff. And then I go to birthdays. Whose birthday is it? Right? I send them birthday love. It's quite honestly, I love birthdays. I'm not a big, um, how do I want to say this? I'm not a big person in the holidays, man. I just don't buy into all that capitalism and all the fakery and stuff about it, right? But anyway, you want to empower team members, especially the little things that they do. When you see that progress, they may not have seen it themselves. This is a key thing too. Many times we overshadow what we're actually doing because we overthink things. And we may not think that what we did was a big deal when in reality it is a big deal if we move forward from a space that we weren't able to move forward from before. So it's important for us to recognize those little things. And as you do that, what happens is you help that person overcome those obstacles, especially in their mind. They get better and stronger. They build more confidence. That's that key word there. If you can help people build more confidence within themselves, then you've got somebody that will hit the home runs. They will go from C to B to A, and you'll be friends for life, as we like to call it. Be part of the Friends for Life program. And here's something else just to throw in there. You find 6 to 8 leaders. This is something that my one of my mentors taught me, and it made total sense. Find 6 to 8 leaders in your team, because remember, this is what we're talking about: building and leading a successful team. 6 to 8 leaders in your team on the same journey as you are, going towards their vision, doing the same things. You'll never have to worry about money again. 6 to 8 leaders on the same journey, right? Meaning we're all in the same company. We're all kicking ass and taking names because we want that money to get whatever our vision is. Everybody clear? Just to make sure we're on the same sheet of music. 6 to 8 leaders, and your business will grow. It will flourish. You'll have, people coming in like popcorn. But everybody obviously has to be on the same sheet of music, doing the same things. All right. So empower your team members, though. Think about times where you can provide growth opportunities for them, but empower those members the best that you can. Sixth final thing, celebrating successes and learning from failures. This is also in agreement and ties into empowering your teammates. If they, got over that 12-foot wall that they couldn't get over before, congratulate them. Man, notice that. Say, hey. But now on the flip side of that, it's very important to make sure that they don't think that they went over the wall and didn't go over the wall. Well, what do I mean by that? Case in point, a couple weeks ago, I had a person of mine, I won't mention the name. He had thought that he had a second person that he needed for his downline, but unfortunately, that person didn't go through with the sale. But because that person went through the checkout portion and then dropped out off of the checkout, the system showed that person as a sign up because they signed up into the system. So when that person went into their back office, it showed that they had that rank upgrade. They got all excited. All right, I got this level, this rank. And, and unfortunately, I had to be the bearer of bad news. And I had to tell him, unfortunately, look, this is what I see, right? You had to do a little kid glove care, make sure that they understand why or what it is or what they need to do to actually accomplish that goal. Sometimes you have to do that because there might be sometimes where they're going to celebrate success before they got it, which is part of learning from their failure, right? So they might have thought that they had reached that success, but they failed. That's something to learn from. Now, what can we learn from that? Well, let's go back and double check, make sure that we dotted those I's and crossed the T's, and that it's legitimate before we start screaming from the rooftop, hey, I accomplished this feat when we hadn't really accomplished that feat yet, right? But celebrating successes and learning from failures is very important as well. So that is the information that I wanted to share with you guys. It's time. We used to do 2 hours of this, believe it or not. We tend to cut it down to an hour just because and other people have things to do. It's that thing called life. But I trust that you guys got some value. Anybody want to add to this? Any comments, suggestions, questions? Trust we all got some kind of value out of this. Yes?
I think by the what you said and some of the examples that you've given, you have a tendency, you've been doing those all along. So the things that I notice that you are teaching us are things that you have already been modeling. So
Yep.
it's easy to follow. And the more people are around you will see that. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for that comment. And that's really what it comes down to is I just learned how to do it, really. Like I'm nobody special. I'm not doing anything that you can't, right? Not doing anything that you can't. Even if it comes to the technical side of things, like Rita and I will be playing around with some videos here, very shortly. But I didn't know what I was doing with videos when I went in there. I just went, pushed buttons, figured it out, asked questions, watched videos, went to YouTube University, got around people that knew what they were doing, and then soaked up like a sponge. You know, nothing wrong with that either. If you see somebody out there that's doing something that you like, man, reach out to them. Hey, Jackie, I really love this post and how you approach this. Love to connect with you. Like, that's an easy way for you to go and connect and build your audience, especially if it's people that you see. This Saturday, through our training, I was talking a little bit about building your audience, and I showed everybody that was in the team coaching. There was a six-figure earner that I connected with, and it didn't take me but a couple of minutes for him to respond, and now we're friends. Now we build the relationship and see what's going on, right? But you got to know these little things. You have to learn these little things, and the more you learn about them, right, you're going to go through that same process, and that's where the whole being married to the process and divorced from the outcome comes. You just do these things that we know work, right? Once that success leaves clues. People have been wildly successful, and this is why, because of these things that we're talking about every Monday. But obviously, too, we're going to grow within this, right? Within this next year, the next day, the next week, we're going to grow. This is all part of it, which is part of our personal development, quite honestly. If you think about it, what do you say, Rita? Like every Monday, if you come here, we're doing personal development time. So there's a reason that you should put us into your schedule every Monday at 12 o'clock. Because this literally is personal development time, right? So I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys that show up. As always, you're the reason that I come here every Monday. If you guys didn't show up, then where would I be? I wouldn't have an audience to even talk to, right? Yeah, I'd be playing games, exactly. But no, I absolutely love this. I love hanging out with you guys. This is part of that stuff that I'm talking about too, the diversity and the culturalness, and we're all from different walks of life, and I love each and every one of you guys. Okay, I want nothing more than to see you guys succeed with whatever it is that you're doing. Whether it's now site, whether it's got backup, whether it's traffic exchanges, I don't care. I just want to see you all win. That's it. And I know each and every one of you guys can win, especially if you learn these little tips and tricks and stuff that we're teaching you, because it's something that I've ended up mastering throughout my lifetime. And I'm only 55 going on 27. But when I think about that, I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this, right? Something could happen tomorrow. But when I think about that too, I think maybe 60 would be my cutoff. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep on going. We'll see. We'll see how everybody feels about me in 5 years. Anybody got anything else they want to add? No?
I do.
Yes?
Yeah.
Please do.
Um, when you said vision, Robert, it's very important for us to realize that we need to know the um, other person's vision, and so we won't be trying to put our vision on that person. So
100.
if you know that person's vision, then you can always go back and be an encouragement when you see that they are not really reaching what their goals are. You can say, well, what's your vision? Remember your vision, what you said you wanted. So let's revisit that to see how we can help you get there. So it's sometimes we forget and we try to put our vision on the person that we are talking to instead of just listening to the person and see exactly what their vision are.
I really love that you dropped that knowledge with us, and that's what you got out of this for sure.
Mhm.
And you're so right, right? The key thing, like she's mentioned, whatever their vision is, you're just using whatever your thing is as just a vehicle to help them get to where it is, right?
Mhm.
So great point there, Catherine. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. If nothing else, let's go out there. Let's have a fantastic week. Let's go kick some ass, take some names, and let's get some people into our business. All right. How about that? Huh? 2 2.